maybe, like the higher powers are just like, you know what, D, we want you to win it cool 1.6, homie.
Yo, that's fucking. And I would be like, that's fucking dope. Like, that's fucking dope. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know?
Like, yo, seriously, like right there was dope, homie. You know what I'm saying?
That shit was fucking dope. Yo,
Storm, I'm sorry. This is what happens when D-Mac and I haven't talked to each other for a little bit.
I think we're live.
Ew! Whoops. Hello. We are back.
Officially, season 2.
Part 2 of our intermission. We have lost some members. We have no idea where they are today. That's besides the point. But welcome, DMAC. And we have Formal, and Ninja's supposed to be here at some point in time. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. But how are you guys doing today?
I'm fantastic.
I'm doing good.
You know, been fucking absolutely great. What about you, Formal?
I'm doing good. Just got our team situated, so no more stress. Pretty good.
I heard that actually. That
we'll get into that. Let's pump the brakes here, okay? How was your Christmas? Or how was your holiday break, D? How was all that?
Holiday break was absolutely fantastic. It was just a lot of staying up all night. You know, playing Mad Battlefield. I've been playing Battlefield out the Ashley. I cannot wait for this $1.6 million tournament that I will be taking the fucking cake on. But, yeah, it's going to be dope, and I've just been chilling, bro. What about you? What have you been doing?
I'm currently trying to get my sleeping schedule back on track. I'm going to the Penguin team tonight, homie. Punk Pittsburgh.
Can I just say something real quick about hockey? I think it's really sad what's going on with Sidney Crosby. I think it's so whack, man. I know he's been deemed as a bitch his whole career, but I just feel real bad for the dude. And I hope he actually gets to play again. For real.
I hope he gets to play again, too, but that's irrelevant. He would probably be the best player of our generation. But for you, how was your holiday break?
My holiday break was awesome. I had my birthday to start off the break, and it was really cool. Got to see some old friends. And then I got to spend the break with my girlfriend and had a really wonderful New Year's and a very wonderful Christmas.
Wow. How old did you turn? 18?
17.
Damn.
Not legal yet. Son of a bitch.
No, sorry.
Damn. You are.
Yeah, he's young, right, D? Yeah,
Yeah, man, I'm a youngin'.
So
go for it, D.
Yeah.
We have the same question.
I want to know what's the 4-man squad? We've been waiting. We really have.
Okay, well, after lots of talks and reviews, me and Hines decided to part ways with Dynasty. So they're going to keep the seed. It's going to be Zoxic and Destin looking for 2. And me and Hines decided to team up with APG and Cloud. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's going to be our roster for the opener. Yeah.
I don't know why you're saying really, Scott. I mean,
I never saw that coming. I never saw Cloud the parting ways from Snipe Down side. Him and Snipe Down and him were kind of like the package duo there throughout the end of 2011 pro season. So that's why I was saying, really, APG made complete sense to me. But Cloud, how did you even go about what?
Yeah, how did you separate Snipe Down and Cloud?
Well, it's funny. Our options were kind of those two were both options. It could have been Snipe Down or Cloud, but I guess we just kind of worked our ways with Scotty, and we just thought that he'd be a better fit for our team and our playstyles.
Okay. I mean, so you're saying you could have went with Snipe Down if you wanted to. You decided not to.
We could have. Yeah, we could have went with Snipe Down, but I don't know. There's a lot of talk that me and him might not play well on the same team. We have kind of similar play styles, so might as well just go to Cloud. I mean, Cloud's a really good support player. I would compare him to Lunchbox, and so I'm just gonna do most of the slang.
Okay. Well, let's ask Boss Nasty. What do you think about this team?
Okay. Well, outplayed you or Boss Nasty?
Well, no. Boss Nasty is actually in this chat with us. Right?
He's at DMAC's house.
If you look at the stream, you'll also see a picture with Boss Nasty. He's currently with us. Let's see what Boss, are you there? Yeah, what's going on? Boss, what do you think about this? Well, here's the thing. As long as they get a real coach together, it's all about the coach in today's game. And if they're able to get that coach in today's game and take it to the higher level, I think maybe before I got nated, we could have made something happen. But now that we did it, and now that I'm not involved, I don't see it blowing up. Awesome move.
I couldn't agree more with you, Boss Nasty. You are so wise.
That was just...
That was the fun. D, man, high five right there. Seriously, tears. Oh, God. I haven't heard a good Boss Nasty in like 2 weeks. It was really funny.
It's perfect, too, because I'm frozen on the street.
It worked out just so perfect.
No, but seriously, I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of surprised that you guys would pick Cloud over Snipedown. Not based off, I think Cloud is worse than Snipedown or Snipedown is much better than Cloud. Just based off what the public perceives. I think most people in the public think that Snipedown is better. At this game, he's been really good. His communication's on point, and it's kind of surprising. Cloud, he's nasty though. APG is a monster. That's an absolute great pickup.
APG is a monster. But my question is how was Rynoob or anyone else like that kind of in the talks, or were you just based on APG and him and Rynoob don't have like a good relationship, or?
Well, Rynoob, I mean, I would consider him with the old settings. With the new settings, I don't see his playstyle being as successful. He's more of like a sprint into your base and be annoying, you know? But now he can't, like, he's not going to, like, walk into your base. And obviously Evade's going to be taken out, so it's like, we decided to go with, like, running gun players, like APG. He's always, like, the first one to just push in and just, like, 5 someone and just, like, get into their base. And with Cloud, it's like, he's, like, a little more passive, but I think with, like, my aggressive playstyle and Heinz's aggressive playstyle, it could really benefit compared to, like, Snipedowns.
All right. Now, you weren't a Halo 3 pro. You weren't around in those days. Now, what about you? Is this new? Are these new settings going to affect your playstyle? You were dominant with Bloom, with Sprint. Now we have no Bloom, no Sprint, probably in 2012. What's going to happen with Formal?
Well, I've been gaming probably, me and APG have probably gamed the hardest out of any pros, like, since the settings came out, and I don't see any difference. I mean, it's like, the shots are a little harder to hit compared to Bloom. It's more of like, who can shoot faster now, I guess, and who's going to 5-shot you faster. And the no sprint, I feel like it's such a big deal because now you can't just, like, do stupid shit. Like, you gotta actually, like, use strategies and stuff, and it's like, it's new to me because I haven't been on, like, that pro level of Halo 3, but it's like, it's an easy adjustment for sure.
Now, my question for you is, practice-wise, I mean, all the pro teams aren't really coming together and scrimming, so, I mean, have you even had a chance to really come together and try out the new team?
Well, I'm hoping to do that tonight. Like, I'm all about scrimming. I think it's, like, you know, the reason I should get on Halo is to scrim, and it's, like, scrimming is, like, so essential to, like, team building, even if it's like just some random scrim against an AM team, you know, it's like that's still practice. Like, I'm even down to do like game battles matches and just, you know, work on a team shot, but I'm assuming that we can probably get our scrims going within the next like few days here.
Okay,
nice.
So you're saying you guys made this decision to make it a team before you actually played together?
Like, I guess you could say that. I mean, I'm not a fan of like running games or whatever. I just kind of like, you know, usually you know how the other person plays, and you know how they're going to fit on your team. It's not going to be a surprise or anything. So it's more of like, hey, man, there's no beating around the bush. Like, let's just make this official. Like, let's do this, you know?
Okay. All right. Now, what about some of these other free agents? You're hearing about some of these other dudes. Who do you think is the best free agent that is a must pick up by a top team right now?
I would say Blaze is one of the top picks, I'd say. Snipedown is probably going to be a top pickup. I'm assuming that SQ is going to try to snag one of them pretty fast here. Let's see.
But what about Nated? What about Nated? Yo,
well,
you got to really wait your turn.
Nated, I mean...
yeah, Boss Nest. Whoa.
Okay.
Breaks, man. Okay. Sorry, Formo. He he's a little bit overzealous.
Sorry about that.
He has this thing called schizophrenia, where he has a break from reality. So you have to give him a second here. But Dmaq, can you control him? Is that okay?
Yeah, don't worry, I got him.
Okay, Formal, continue.
Yeah. All right. Well, Boston asked you real fast. I didn't really have a problem with this guy. Like, you know, I heard the community hated him. That's whatever. I'm not going to judge someone because someone else hates him or whatever. But I don't know if you guys saw this, but recently he took my Rookie of the Year interview, like just my random interview, and he just roasted it for like 15 minutes, just like talk shit about it. Like, who makes fun of an interview, man? Like, honestly.
What was on the interview? Did you give good answers? Was it written or was it?
It was written. It was written. It's just his things were. Okay, here's an example. I said, like, pre-Dallas, I thought our team was going to do good because we were beating teams online. Then he said, where's the proof? Like, where's the proof of beating this team? Like, what am I going to do?
Brilliant. There's no stopping him.
I know, man. He's a master troll. He really is. I'm sorry, Dmaq. I know he's right next to you, but it's whatever. I mean,
you know,
I hate
if you're just going to talk shit about my dude while he's here, I mean, I'm telling him to be quiet. He wants to come out and say something right now.
Well, it actually works out perfectly because, you know, we have to go to
Yeah, let's go to this commercial break.
Yeah, let's go to commercial break. When we come back, start asking about, you know, status quo and everything else.
Okay.
So stay tuned. We are back. Now our motion. I don't know.
It's been a long time since we had a show. Man, I really did miss this. Actually, I'm really happy that we're back. For real. Let's make season 2 a good one and have a strong season 3.
Dude, you know, it's like I like to look at it as like Eastbound and Down. You know, first season only had like 6 episodes. Well, second season had 6 episodes too. I like to look at it as Walking Dead.
Even less structured than that. Look at it with something with no structure at all and with a bunch of lazy fucks running it. That's what this is right here. But
class in high school.
Anyway.
All right, so this little segment is going to be, we are going to gaze into the crystal ball of Formal as he's going to run down all of what he thinks will happen with the team changes, and Dmaq and I will react. So, Formal, wherever you want to start, just...
Okay. One sec. I'm just going to pull it up real fast.
Yeah, so he has his ball. He's like gazing upon it. It's like, all right, straight whipping. They will get Ninja McWin, okay? Status quo, they will be grabbing Snipe down.
Who's
Wiley?
Who is this mystical player?
Okay. Alright, so first, we'll start with status quo. I think status quo is going to get Blaze. I think Blaze is just like, he's like a more individually skilled version of Assault. He's like that support, like kind of nerdy, like full objective, all like focus on objective more than slaying. So I'm assuming they'll get Blaze. That's without a question. Maybe Snipe down. Depends what they're looking for. I mean, if they're looking for an Assault player, then it's like, it's Blaze. But if they're looking for more slaying power, which they think that they've always needed, I mean, I would guess I would go Snipe down. For obvious reasons.
Why is that? Why have they always thought that?
I don't know.
with SQ though, I heard there's another name actually in the running. The brothers might be playing together for the first time. Elamite Warrior.
Really?
Yeah, I heard he's
That'd be
really
interesting.
trying to get on the team, and some he's pushing for. Ace wants it to happen. Now it's up to the other two. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they'll go with Blaze because he's the best player available. But yeah, it might. That'd be interesting.
That'd be cool.
What's interesting to me is that, you know, it's what's with this Crow Warriors thing that's always going on? Like Dursky and Snakebite always like hanging out. Like, it raises questions to me. And I know, like, I'm the typical, like, MLG forum noob who's, like, sitting there and I'm like, well, on Twitter I saw that he was playing with Snakebite, so I think this is possible. I just think they're putting a lot of time in, like, it could be a possibility.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I could see a team, like, forming, like, Flamesword, Ace, Dursky, Snakebite. I can see Flamesword, Ace, Royal 2, Snakebite. There's, like, all sorts of combinations you can make with the whole Warriors thing, you know? They're all really good friends. I mean, it's like, I don't know what will happen. I guess only time will tell. Anything can happen now.
I mean, Dmaq, you team with him. You team with Flamesword in Battlefield 3. Why don't you tell us what you think will happen?
Well, I think in the lead right now, in my opinion, and it's not something that I would quote him on, but I think if they picked one person up today, it'd probably be Blaze, just based off the fact how he dominated one tournament. He was the complete all-star snub. If you looked at the two biggest all-star snubs, it was him and Ace. And so if you put those two together, all of a sudden you have a team filled with two monsters and a great support player in Flamesword. And, of course, you have Enable, who actually did make the all-star team. So all of a sudden you have a monster squad. I think that team would make sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the biggest, well, not one of the biggest, well, like, one of the players that's going to, you know, really shine with no bloom, no sprint is going to be Flamesword. I think he's going to show his true potential and come back and, you know, the Halo 3 top 10 players, you know. He's going to be really good.
Wait, who did you say?
Flamesword, my brother in arms.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the one to look out for
he's
sure.
going to be much improved.
Yeah,
I think he was very good with no bloom. I think he even knew he wasn't very good. So he'll definitely...
Yeah, that was weird to me because, like, you know, watching him, like, all season long, I never thought he was bad, but... you know, after the championships, he was like, you know, finally, I didn't let my team down with my individual performance. And I was like, what? Like,
At least he knows.
I never thought you sucked, though. Like, it's weird to see a gamer actually be in touch with the fact that he may not be up to par of his teammates.
Well, Scott, when you're somebody who considers themselves, and by many is considered a top 15 player in the game at the end of Halo 3, and going into this big pool of players and being dominated by a lot of players individually, like the kid we have in the show today, Formal, I think, you know, you're woken up. You know what's good. You know you're not as individually skilled, and that'll probably change for him next year.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Formal, next team. You're the host of this show. We brought you in as a guest. You're running the fucking thing.
Well, I guess we can do Dynasty. I mean...
Yeah. What do you think's gonna? Do you think?
Hey, hold on over here.
Hey, whoa!
We're trying to talk about status quo. Now, I like what status quo is doing as a squad. I really like them. However, I just don't see their coach leading them into being the best team that they can be, and so that's why I don't see it happening.
But why, Boss Nasty? Why do you come up with these accusations that you have no proof about?
You know, Gandhi, that's just something that if you want to talk about it later, I'll make a 45-minute rant about it, and we can talk about it later, but not right now on the show.
I just want to understand where you're coming from, man. Like, I think, you know, maybe, I don't know. We'll talk about this later. Back to what you were saying.
Okay, well, Dynasty, to me, like, you got Destin to Toxic. They're both, like, two of the most underrated players in, like, top 8, and I think they're going to have to snag players, like, I think a team might form, like, Destin to Toxic, maybe Maniac in a 4th, maybe Lethal in there. I really don't know what they're going to do, man. Like, they can get options, I just don't know what they're going to want. It's really hard. It's really tough to say. Because with Destiny to Toxic, man, they're usually people that get, like, picked up, you know? They're not the ones, like, picking people up. So I really don't know what's going to happen with them. I could see...
they're not really the people that go out and get people like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And neither is Maniac.
Yeah, Maniac is like he lets everything happen and then he just like goes, you know? He just goes wherever like he gets pushed towards. And like Maniac usually knows what's going on. I mean, he's not like stupid or anything. He knows what's going on with the teams. I'm sure he's gonna try to get on Dynasty.
Well, Maniac actually ran a few games with Quo.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
So that's actually also a possibility. They all think he's very good, and he is. He's a great player. He would fit well on a lot of great teams.
Yeah, that could happen too.
I mean,
for sure.
The thing is though also that, I mean, they do have that seed. And that's a big deal, especially going into opening year. I mean, depending on like how the bracket looks, I mean, if they have, you know, a little bit easier of a bracket than other teams, I can see people just jumping ships just to get that first tournament out of the way and then make their moves from there.
Especially how we're hearing there might only be 4 tournaments next year.
Exactly.
You know, we don't know what we're hearing, but we are hearing there are going to be less. That's definitely not definite, but we're hearing we're going to be less. So people are going to want to make the most of that first tournament. They're going to go after the best squad they can get. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. What I'm hoping for is maybe Destin to Zoxic team with like Maniac and another player from Believe the Hype. So they take the BTH seed. Yeah, maybe Reliable, maybe Snipe Down, and then they take the BTH seed, and then we take the Dynasty seed. I really don't care about seeds. I mean, if you want to win the tournament, you got to beat everybody. So it's whatever. But if you're not confident and you want to go with seeds, I mean, that's the way you should take. But, yeah, I mean, I really couldn't say who the 3rd and 4th is going to be at this point.
I'd be surprised if they don't heavily recruit Snipe Down and Maniac together. I saw sort of chemistry between the two. It'd be surprising to see them totally break up. I think if there was a choice of 2 people sticking together between Snipe Down, Maniac, and Reliable, it would be Snipe Down and Maniac. That would be the best duo. Sure. So I think those 2 should head over to Zoxic and Destin. Zoxic makes a lot of huge plays, and Destin is a very underrated player. They won a tournament with you guys earlier this year. I think that team would be actually pretty damn dangerous. Snipe Down would look good back in the purple, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
They could definitely be really good.
I mean, my question with Zoxic ever since he started playing was his consistency. And in 2011, he proved with Dynasty towards the end that he was consistent in his play. And that's something that's good. So, with that said, I think, like you said, DMAC, Maniac, and Snipe Down should probably stick together.
Yeah.
Out of that. I really have a hard time understanding if, you know, Dynasty will even stay together. I could see them just splitting ways. And, I mean, and you know, with that said, we got to go to the expert here. So, Boss Nasty, what's your take, as I rip my earbud out, what's your take on the Dynasty situation?
Well, Gandhi, I wouldn't really call it much of a dynasty. When you look at this team, they didn't really win that many tournaments. When you look at the definition of dynasty, in the dictionary, it says you have to win 3 or more tournaments. Has Dynasty ever done that? I don't think they have. I don't think that's considered a dynasty. I don't think you can actually think that they're actually a dynasty. So, no, I don't think they're a dynasty, and that's what I think about Dynasty.
Well,
that dude is one intelligent motherfucker. Thank you.
You know, there is only one thing, like, you know, he always reminds me of that very, very smart guy in every movie, like Gandalf Greybeard. Who else is there that's really smart in movies?
Dumbledore?
Dumbledore, yes, Dumbledore.
Straight up, he's on some Dumbledore shit.
Yeah, he is Dumbledore without actually being the head of Hogwarts. He's Dumbledore who's the bum who sleeps in the, what is it called?
It's like Dumbledore and Chris Brown combined. Because you know he's having sex with Rihanna, and he's doing, like, powerful wizard shit. That's the type of shit that Boss Nasty is on.
On to the next one. Formal.
Well,
I like making the guest host up the show. Like, I think we need to start doing that, D-Man, because then it's just like, you and I, like, wake up, we go to class, we come in here, and we're like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it, we'll be fine. And then we're like, oh, no pressure. You're the guest. You have to come up with everything we're talking about. And then we're not doing the show. So
I guess the next team is Classic, but I don't really see any team changes going there.
No, they are dedicated to each other. I think actually we should touch light on them real quick. I agree. It's awesome what the fuck they're doing. Like Chig kind of went out and grabbed 3 players. We rode him off of the circuit this year. I certainly didn't see him in the top 8 at any point this year. Never mind all year long. Classic, everything that Chig is doing, he's proving he is a top pro. He's going out and getting his. That's fucking dope. Yeah,
I agree. That team is going to stay together for a while. I'm saying at least this whole season for sure. They fit each other perfectly. You know, they complement each other perfectly. Oh, yeah. And they're all like best friends, so that can only help. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking dope. Imagine if I said dope like in regular talk, dude.
Yeah, me and you would be like sort of the same then.
But instead, you know, you're DMAC and I'm
you're the fucking Scott the asshole.
And you're DMAC.
Anyway, next team.
Well, it's a no-name team. It's Goofy, Rhino, and Legit, or a team of 3.
Really?
Yeah, that's
I think this is a good team. If you took the best player off Final Boss at the end of the year last year, it would have to be Legit, right?
Yeah, I agree.
He was like the most consistent. He was really coming back to his old form. And then if you took the best player off Infamous at some points last year with last year's game types, it had to be Ryan. And you know, he took straight rip into second place. Arguably, there are other players on the team that are better at different things, but Ryan was an absolute monster. And
he was.
Goofy, I thought, had a disappointing year last year. I don't think he really showed up as much as he should have. He actually could be that player that, you know, if he doesn't step it up, he could get dropped from this, like, pro status that he keeps getting.
Yeah,
he has to step it up.
You know, like, when I feel Goofy's situation, I feel like, because I teamed with him for Columbus, I don't know if you guys knew that, and we ended up getting 6th. And I feel like he just, for Orlando and Providence, I mean, he had, you know, he was on Triggers Down. I mean, that was his choice to be on that team, but, I mean, they didn't practice, you know. And when I teamed with him, he was on every day, like, you know, they calling us, like, let's get on, let's play. And it's like, with Triggers Down, it's like, it's just, I think it was just a sucky situation when you had, like, not so dedicated neighbor and best man, I guess, you know, and they, like, I don't know. Goofy could have definitely done better, but I say it wasn't really his fault. He was really good when he played on my team, at least. He was dedicated as hell. So,
I don't think he has any excuse going into this season. I think this will be the best team that he's ever been surrounded around. I'd like to see my fellow Pakistani brethren do well. I really.
It's always a race thing with you, man.
It is with him.
It's always a race.
You know, we don't.
You support your brown boxer, your brown Halo player.
It would be a race thing with you, but everybody's white. All right, look at
that. No one's white.
Oh, I really want him to win.
Have you been into an MLG venue? We are filled with color. We are not white.
Like, go to the Capitals game. You know, I like this guy because he's white. No, everybody's white. No.
I set you up for it to be funny, okay? But yes, Goofy should have no excuse next season, absolutely. But the question is who the hell will they get as their 4th?
That's a good question. I honestly don't know. I'm thinking Lethal. I saw them running games tonight. You know, you have Lethal and Ryan knew the team before. You know, I can definitely see that being a possibility.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that would be a
good team. Anybody else, you know, for that team, it's like they need a pretty big player when you have, you know, Ryan Noob. He's just like that nerdy player. And I mean, Legit to support and Goofy to support. They're gonna need someone like Lethal.
But I mean, no Bloom Legit could be 100% different. I know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the most redundant thing of all time, and we always give credit because we've seen it in the past. I mean, Legit has just been a fucking force to be reckoned with all the way up until Bloom.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, his shot has been one of the best, and that is not even arguable. So, I mean, there is that chance where he just catches in stride and he just literally starts just spanking people.
I think it's also a psychological mentality. I just love it. I love his attitude, his in-game. He's such a veteran and such a key piece to any kind of championship team. He really is going to be that player you look to on Sunday just to make sure everything's all right. You know,
that's true. That is so true.
And legit, super calm. You have to have that type of player. But what about Hysteria? I think he's off of Final Boss. I don't think he plays enough. I really don't think he plays Halo enough at all. However, he used to be a dangerous player. He still kind of is a dangerous player. He could be a good fit too.
Yeah, I could see that happening also. I didn't know that he left Final Boss or got dropped or whatever happened there. I'm not surprised, but I didn't hear about it. But yeah, I can definitely see him being a good port for them. He's a good player. He's really fucking good with the sniper. Like, he doesn't get any credit, but I saw him playing in Orlando, dude. Like, he can fucking snipe.
Huh. I mean,
we always do that. Don't give me that surprise. Huh? No, we always knew that.
We knew, but he never performed at a tournament. At least that I saw. He was always in the feature station, and you know that to be true.
Yeah, you know what? He just hasn't been dedicated at all.
Yeah. StarCraft, man.
Yeah, I really don't see the level of dedication. In fact, you see what he was doing is what Formal is doing in today's game. And it's really because, you know, Formal plays all the time. He really wants it. And you saw the same thing out of Hysteria year 1 of Halo 3. Was never on the scene, tried to make it on the scene, finally got to be super nasty, and he really wanted it, and he dominated 2010. And I think Formal, if you play your cards right, and if you keep working hard, I think you could dominate 2010 as well. But Hysteria, I don't see him making a comeback. I really don't, and it's sad.
Yeah.
So that raises the next perfect transition before we go to a commercial break here, is Fear Itself and Victory X. Do they still play, or do they just bow out gracefully at this point?
No, they do play. Because if you look at how they've performed all year, how is a team that manages to stick in the top 8?
They got in the top 8 at the national championship.
Every event they got top 8.
No. They got top 8 at Columbus and
they got
Providence
twice.
Yeah.
Only twice?
Yeah, they were outside of the top 8.
Oh, that's rough, actually. I'm sorry. But, hey, they did get 6th in Columbus. They had their best team there. And they got top 8 with Tots. So, those two things show you that they could still get it done. I think Fear Itself is still a fine player. He's going to be much better next year than he was last year. He sucked last year, in my opinion, compared to what he's going to be. At the end of Halo 3, he was a top 5 player.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, he's still going to be one of those dominant dudes, and it might happen. No way you count him out, though.
Yeah, I could see Final Boss, honestly, like Victory and Fear teaming up with Neighbor and Best Man. I don't know about you guys.
I think that's in the works. I think here's what it poses 2 questions. One, Best Man's on our show, so we have to be a little bit nice, but fuck that. I think it's the worst decision possible because both of those two duos aren't fucking dedicated.
Yeah.
They aren't. They aren't the slightest bit. It'd be like if DMAC and I were to be in complete control of coming together with every single show. We would be fucked. We would not do it.
They never play.
They never play. But it's what's going to happen. It's what's going to happen. It's inevitable.
Hysteria should just be their fucking coach. That's it.
You know what that means. I hear it. The sign has been thrown up. Bring on Boss Nasty's opinion.
But when you look at Final Boss, they haven't really been much of a Final Boss lately. I want to see them perform without Ogre 2, but it's not going to happen. Fear Itself, nobody's fearing you anymore. Victory X, all I see is losses. I'm looking at Final Boss, they look like the pony bitch, okay? That's what I look at Final Boss as. I'm not scared anymore. I think they should make a name change, maybe player changes. Everything is wrong.
Damn.
Glad to see. I mean, when you just look at the track record of Boss Nasty, if it was like a scroll, like we were back in the day, you would just go like this, and you wouldn't be able to fucking open it because it's non-existent. So you can't take a word he says to be true. But besides that, I mean, he makes great points with no backing.
Yeah.
Top 10.
Let's be clear. I am doing the voice of Boss Nasty. I don't want us to get twisted. However, I am quoting him on real quotes. No, I'm not. I'm just making up shit based off of evidence that he would say such things. That is true. Okay.
Oh, he is the best.
I studied the man. I know his ways.
We took a 2-week hiatus from the show just so Dmac could document everything about Boss Nasty.
It's like Will Smith playing Ali. Anything he said was like Ali was saying it. That's basically the same type of shit that's going down.
God, Dmac's the fucking president. So we're gonna get a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more laughs, and we have no idea what we'll talk about. But stay tuned. Hello, we are back, and we have big news, but I will tell you at the end of the show.
That is big news.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
What's our plan of attack? We didn't really cover anything.
We could talk about straight ripping,
laughing
I guess.
in between.
Yeah, straight ripping.
Yeah. All right, well, straight ripping is most likely going to be Ninja, McWen, T-squared, and strong side. That's just, that's the rumors. That's what's going on. That's what everyone's saying. I don't see anything like different than that. They've been practicing a lot lately. I see them scrimming. I ended up playing them a match meeting yesterday. They're pretty good. I think it's going to come down to how dedicated that team is. I think Squared can be a god with no bloom, no sprint. If he gets dedicated again and he starts practicing hard as hell, and you got a strong side who won the FFA, so you already know he's going to be good as hell with no bloom. And then you got Ninja and McWen, and they're dedicated as hell, and they're all ears to Squared. He's one of the best leaders. I can see that team doing really well.
Where's the brain on this team?
I guess you can say strong side.
That's. I think it's in McWen's head, and I think that's okay. But I think he's just a little premature to being the main. But Squared is going to do his thing, and he's going to get his numbers. Okay, that's something that he's going to do. But we all knew in 2008 for Straight Rippin', Elamite Warrior was the brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Correct.
something?
100%
that,
right.
Yeah, 100% right. Elamite Warrior was the brain. Now looking at this team, also on that team you had Legit, who was an extremely smart player. Snipe Down was one of a kind type player. So the forts were always right. Now on this team, where's the brain? I see Mickwin kind of developing into a very smart player. Last year I would watch him at times. I'm like, damn, Walshy's gotten really, really good. But it happened to be Mickwin. He's a very smart player. However, is Ninja finally going to take that game that he has that is so raw and so skilled and turn it into a complete monster 4v4? That's something to be seen. Is T Squared going to get dedicated again? A lot of questions, just like there always are with Straight Rip.
Yeah, speaking back, I'll touch on the whole 2008 thing, just in case no one believes that. When you look at the 2010 Straight Rippin' lineup, yeah, they aren't the same faces, but Straight Rippin' didn't make a national championship for the first time since the name has been made. And now you could say it was either Ghost Ayami calling the shots, or you can say it was T Squared. Either way, it was basically those two guys. And if you ever tuned into the LAN network back then, it was T Squared and Ghost Ayami always getting into it, and they always took T Squared's side on it. So that's why we're questioning the brains. But my thing is the chemistry going to be well? I would like to see them play. Like, this is all just my opinion without seeing it, any evidence of it. But I don't know who's going to be in control of, the objective, who's going to be, supporting everyone. When I look at this team, I see 4 Slayers. And that's just a fact. There is no controlling strong side, ever.
Yeah.
Never. You let strong side be strong side.
Yeah.
And now my understanding is you kind of let Ninja do the same thing. And then in tournament play, sometimes Mickwin gets into the same thing. So does that mean T Squared? It's going to rely on T Squared to carry the weight of the objective?
I like Strong Side's attitude. Don't love his game, but I like his game. T Squared's attitude could be a bit better as far as leading his team and putting him under his wing, but I think he did a fantastic job with the Providence roster that he had. I think he made the best of it, and his teammates were really happy that they were his teammates. So maybe he actually has made that push. But you're right. I think when you look at this team, you look at 4 individual type players, and they need to find that team unity. And it might be behind friendship, but I don't know if Strong Side is the right fourth. I think with a different fourth, they could be a much better team. I think Strong Side could also find a better home elsewhere. I don't know if this is the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Formal.
I agree. I mean, I feel like, just throw it together. It wasn't really like they played with each other before. I don't think I've ever seen Ninja and Mickwin play with Side before. And it's like, I feel like they just forced it, and now they're going to try to force teamwork, and it might backfire on them, but it might benefit them. I don't know. I say, give it like a week, see how they're scrimming against pro teams, and then see how they react when they lose, or how they're reacting when they're winning, and how they're clicking. I think only time will tell.
All right.
Agree.
Next. There's a question about them. But what about this is, I don't want to host it up from formal, but I think a lot of people have been asking about this guy. And he's one of our most popular players. He's fucking nasty with the sniper. Neighbor. What about Neighbor? What are his plans in 2012? Is he retiring? Is he going to come back with a full force? We saw some tweets where he called out some players who got second at last year's national championship. Is he going to step up and put a team together to get past them?
Oh, that was a jinx. That was nifty. Do you want to go first, or you want me to?
No, you got it.
All right. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see the Fear Itself victory, best man Neighbor. And I'm pretty sure, I think we're going to see Neighbor attempt to try. I think the first event, he always starts off very strong. I mean, when you look at 2011, he got second. So in the off season is really when he catches his stride and he really hits them big. But my question is will he actually do it? I mean, when you look at Neighbor, he has a lot of shit on his plate right now. I almost see him I would almost prefer to see Neighbor kind of step down and turn into like a Hastro for Call of Duty and just kind of coach a team and just market the living shit out of them, because Neighbor is in that position. And I really do question his dedication. But then Best Man's in the same same level for me. Best man's a part of it, and you keep with those you with that face right there. You're killing me. You're like going like that. I'm sorry. I hate you, Dmac.
Ducking and dodging.
Yeah, you're thinking about your Packy boy. But Best Man's kind of in that same situation, but he's not nearly as big as Neighbor. So it's going to depend. It's either somehow Neighbor can pull some tomfoolery on those three guys and be like, look, if we do this, we're going to get this amount of fucking sponsors, and all of them come together and they just excel, or they're just going to be, just 9 through 12 again, and then maybe a top 6 every once in a while.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
It's going to be interesting. Let's see where has Best Man played Halo Reach in the past month.
He made that montage. He made that montage with Campy.
I understand he's been doing things for the community, but I'd like to see him play a little bit more of the game before he decides that he's going to come back for 2012. When a player says, I'm going to retire, and then just kind of floats around, that's not what you like to see. If he's going to come back, he better come back on that 12-hour-a-day bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He better really put in his time. And that's something we have to see out of Best Man.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Neighbor.
Neighbor, I don't know. I watched his YouTube videos recently, and he's talking about how he wants to come back and he wants to take 2012 over, just come back and be in the top 8 again, or maybe even like win an event. I think it's just going to come down to dedication. I can see Best Man and Neighbor being gods with no blue, no sprint. It's just going to depend on how much they want it, So I mean, guess we'll just have to wait and see.
It sucks seeing just potential get wasted away. It really does. I mean, Neighbor has yet. If I'm
Gandhi.
Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your mouth.
You have potential to win maybe a whole nother year before you started losing. That's true.
Shh. We're not here to talk about me. No one gives a shit about me. My thing is I look at Neighbor, and he's never won a national championship, but he's won 2008 best player overall. He's been in the talks for top sniper. I think it'll literally eat at him if he never wins a national championship.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think he's one player who really does want to win very badly, and the problem is I don't think he shows it enough. I think he needs to show it more. And stop with all this bullshit of, oh, I don't really care. He needs to show that he really does care and make it happen. And I think if he does those things, he'll step into the right direction. Hey, we've all shit on Neighbor in the past, and he's completely redone himself. When we were shitting on him in Halo 3 and saying he was a team killer, at the end of Halo 3, he came on with Triggers Down, and he was the best teammate that I saw at that tournament. I think Neighbor is one of those players that is capable of reinventing himself, and I think that's key for him. I think that's something that he needs to do, and something that he's going to do.
Yep. Do we have another team? I think we should. Perhaps.
A team that's not really talked about at all, Active Rush.
Dude, they are the epitome of a Cinderella story.
Yeah, they really are.
What do we say?
Man, the
Sneaky Beaver.
Bondsman, Georgie Porgy, a.k.a. Frosty. You look at his Twitter description, pro Halo player, future bail bondsman. That's his Twitter description right there. and that's who he is. He's been in this game for so long. It's awesome to see him and his younger brother finally get it. They're very confident. They thought they could have won all of Providence. And he's just the epitome of the type of player that you want to be. Somebody who might not be the most skilled player, but thinks that they're going to win every single time. And that's Frosty. That's his younger brother, Sneaky Beaver. And those were his two teammates. I thought that was awesome that they got top 8.
Agreed.
But what will they do in the future? I think Sneaky Beaver definitely will only have room to grow from here. I mean, he was doing so well at the end of the season. I remember Maniac bitching about his DMR, saying that he'd never missed. So I would imagine Active Rush stays together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see them breaking up.
Unless some of this shit that's trickling down with all these big names falls onto their lap, you could probably see them making a little bit of a change. But other than that, probably not.
Hmm.
All right. Serious. Okay. I'm gonna say serious. So, serious face on. Roll the shoulders. Honestly, Nate. I can't. I gotta try to say it with a fucking straight face. Nated's team. What do we think? Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. I want to start off with formal.
Who's on it?
Well, I think his team is Solarith, Mind Freak, and Luckside, but I think one of them got kicked off or quit or bailed or something like that already. And then obviously the coach is Boss Nasty. And I feel like Nated, man, I don't agree with his decision at all. I mean, he could easily get on the top team if he wanted, and he just decided to take that route. I mean, it's like I really don't know what goes on in his head. I don't really know the guy that well. I mean, I'm friends with him, but I never really had like a one-on-one talk with him. And I mean, he's done that golden ticket thing before, back in Halo 3 with him and Karma teamed up with I think Tensor and Tetrashot. They didn't even make it out of AM. So I don't know where he would get this idea again. I mean, a team house is fun, that's cool, but are you trying to win the tournament or are you trying to, like have the best teammates ever? But I don't know. I don't agree with it at all. I don't think they're going to do well at all, especially being led by Boss Nasty. It's not going to be good for them at all.
DMAC?
It sucks. It sucks to see this happen. Luckside, I know him. He was a player that I actually got to watch at a combine when I was there watching players and evaluating them. And he's actually somebody I gave a sticker to. Somebody who I said, yo, this guy is going to be a player with skill. So I still believe that. Okay? Solarith, another kid. He always used to play with me on Xbox Live. Kid, very skilled. Maybe doesn't have the best mindset, but maybe that's something that a mentor could help him achieve. However, I don't know if this is the right mix for these guys. You're taking Nated, somebody who hasn't had the best mindset in the past, and he's really trying to turn it around now, but he's doing this in a moment of desperation, and I don't think that it's going to work at all. This isn't the beginning of Halo 3, where he took 3 random players and took them to the top. And even then, when he did it, he only saw the outskirts of the top 8. I think financially, if you're making a decision, you should try to get the best team out there and try to win the most money possible. I don't think he's doing that, and that's why I don't think he's going to make that much money next year. In fact, I don't think he's going to make any prize money from Major League Gaming's pro circuit. I really don't.
Here's my thing. If there's one thing I've known is that you can't completely count out Nated ever. He's just one of those players, and with no bloom, no sprint, when you look at the track record of MLG and all of the Halos, you know Nated is going to be a top-tier player. Now, with that said, it's really going to... I question the teammate's choice. I think he definitely would be on the top team if he didn't go through with these shenanigans. But I honestly think... it's just inevitable to happen because we've just been giving so much hate to the subject that I have this terrible gut feeling at one of these events, this team is going to make top 8, and fucking Boss Nasty is going to put together an hour-long video, and they're going to take down like a top 4 team, and he's basically going to fucking like get on the YouTube video, and he's going to have a shirt like with his face on it and Nated like hugging, and he's going to come in, and for like 45 minutes he's going to sit there flicking us off. Being like, I fucking told you so, just on repeat. And it's like a nightmare. Like, I wake up, and I'm sweating, and I jump up, and I'm like, all right, I'm alive. That was just a dream. Like, I'm terrified of that.
Oh,
now,
man.
With that said...
that dream would suck. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, right? Dude, it's terrible. Like, you wake up, you're cold, sweat, you're like, what the fuck? You, like, check outside, you're like, all right, it's not snowing, it's okay. But with that said, I pulled this out 7 times. With that said, this is going to end the show, but we have one big announcement, and I think people are going to be a little bit caught off guard. But nonetheless, Boss Nasty, you and a guy of your choice.
I have a dope quote for them. I wouldn't degrade myself to that pathetically low standard. of doing that to anyone, even after we beat them all. That is directly from the man. He would never do this. Ever. Never.
He's in the chat? Oh my god.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. This is perfect. Boss Nasty, you and a guy of your choice, anyone, will be welcome to go to a live debate next Wednesday with Dmaq and I. It'll be an hour long. In between Skype calls, I'm muting my mic so I don't have to talk to you. I'm walking away, and then I'm coming back for commercials. So if you're scared, say you're scared, or if you want to do it, you do it. I would love to have you on the show, because quite frankly, I've never talked to you, and by all means, maybe my perception will change. Nah, well, but I think that's going to do it. Welcome back to the 2012 season,
yeah.
guys.
Hopefully we'll be a little more consistent. I think one of our more consistent hosts, he didn't get to join us today, but Ninja is committed to doing this show with us. So Ninja is somebody that you guys are going to see often. And, of course, we are going to have awesome, awesome fucking guests who lead us in this show, like today. Formal, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Make sure you guys are watching his Twitch, all right? He's streaming all the time, always providing 1v1s, 4v4s. You'll see him playing with his new team, okay? They are not Dynasty. Do you guys have a team name yet?
No, we don't. I think we're still thinking about it. It's going to be hard, but we're open to suggestion, you know?
All right, so hit him up on his, what's your Twitter?
It's just formal with a 0 instead of the O.
All right, so hit him up on twitter.com/formal, O instead of the 0, or 0 instead of the O. All right? Figure it out. Let him know what his new team name should be. Watch his Twitch, and come back next week where we do this whole debate shit with Boss Nasty, and Ninja joins us as well. Thank you for joining us.